write a question for defensive coordinator Corey Hetherman.
Just looking at SMU's offense, obviously they have the potential to be explosive. Their quarterback he hasn't been running, I don't think, as much this year, but he has the ability to do it. Just what have you seen from them on film?
Yeah, there's design runs for him. There's a lot of opportunities where he can pull the football or, get the ball out in the perimeter with RPO game and, different things. But I think quarterback's a very good football player. I think they have weapons, in the backfield and on the perimeter. They use the tight ends a lot of different ways. 12 personnel looks like 11 personnel or 10 personnel even at times with the different athletes they have at the tight end position. They try to get the wide receivers the ball in space, whether it's on jets or reverses or, get the ball out on screens in the flats right now or quick game. And then the backs, the same thing. Like they have a lot of touches, especially in the pass game along with the run game. I know we were familiar with the one back last year. I think we played him at UCLA. I think they do a really good job of spreading the football around. It's a little bit different every week. There's not a lot of, set is exactly what they do. And, I think it's going to be a little bit Florida State-ish, how they kind of, get the ball to different guys.
What did, in your eyes, did Wake Forest do to slow them down as much as they did?
I thought they did a really good job of keeping the ball in front of them. I thought they did a really good job of tackling. They gave them some different pitchers, and I thought that defense just played really hard and did a good job all day.
After the first drive, Stanford goes down, they scored, and you guys shut them down the rest of it. What stood out from drive 1 through compared to what drive they will do the rest of the game?
I thought our guys really stepped up. After that first drive, we gave up the one run that got out. They ran a counter. We got to set the edge, and we got to make that play. I thought they did a good job staying on track early, and we had a misfit early, and I thought they made a couple good plays. But after that, I think our guys settled down, and I think they really responded and played fast. And I thought we were just a little bit more physical after that first drive, and I think that helped shut them down during the day.
The last couple of weeks, obviously Stanford comes out, scores on their first drive, doesn't score again. Louisville scores on their first 2 drives, only scores 10 more points the rest of the game. I think the players have been saying it's not about adjustment so much as it's about just executing better. Just how do you view that? Is it about changing things up and adjusting to what you're seeing versus just like do the thing we've been telling you to do?
I think it's a little bit of both. I thought Louisville, I thought we had a couple missed tackles early. I thought we had a misfit early. This week I thought we did change it up just a little bit off the initial plan. But, I thought in both situations, running back makes a guy miss. They make a better combo block or double team on a play and they get up to the backside linebacker. Every game's a little bit different at how it happens. I thought Stanford did a really good job in that first series. They did a couple different things, and I thought our guys just settled down after that. And I thought maybe we tweaked it a little bit, but I thought we communicated better after the first series. I thought our guys played a little bit faster after that first series. We had a couple little different wrinkles in there, and I thought our guys really settled down and played fast after that.
A lot of younger guys on the defensive line got playing time with Mesidor out. Just what did you think about the group being able to rotate in there, and then specifically Marquise Lightfoot? What's sort of been your evaluation of them this season?
Yeah, I think, just in general on defense, we've played a lot of players. Like, you go back early in the year, there's 25, 26 guys playing, whether it be Bethune. I thought we played a lot of guys. South Florida, we played a lot of guys in the Florida game. I thought we played a lot of guys in that game. And, I just think we have a lot of guys. The way that we practice and the way that we compete in camp and the way that we rotate our guys in practice, there's a lot of guys I think we can put on the field right now, and you don't think twice about it. Third went in and played really well, played physical. Lightfoot's been a guy has started on a lot of packages all year. I think his role is continuing to grow and get bigger, and I think he's a very dynamic player. A little bit different than what Mez is, but I think he's a very dynamic player, and I think he gets better every single week in practice. You can see that. Book's a guy too. I think he did a really good job on a combo block and reappeared through it. And he's a guy that competes in practice, and he's a guy I don't think twice. You put him on the field, and I know he's going to go make the plays. Dante goes in his first play. He's a TFL. Dante's a guy that had a really good spring. Played really well in fall camp, and he's a guy. You put him on the field right now, I think he's going to be very successful as he's out there. And other guys, we move him around a lot. We play him in some different different positions and different looks. You know, like Armando Blunt's a guy, he plays like 3 different positions in the defense, and he's been very successful at all 3, you know, all year really. Just constantly trying to get him on the field more because he's a very dynamic player for us. But you know, I think, you know, we're going to continue to rotate guys. We're going to continue to find different roles for guys, and you know, I think that's one good thing. I think we have guys that compete and continue to develop and get better every single day and every single week, and they'll continue to get more reps on the field.
You really got it going in the second half, particularly the third quarter. To the naked eye, it looked like a massive uptick in just intensity and, like you say, running to the football and swarming and that sort of thing. Was that how it looked to you? That guys just elevated their effort?
Yeah, like, you know, they had the one explosive on the first series. They had to get out for a 28-yard gain. After that, they didn't. I think that was the only explosive we had all day. Later in the game, they had a 21-yard pass, but you know, I thought our guys, I thought they played physical at the point of attack. I thought they did a really good job up front on the combos and the doubles. And I thought our guys, you know, swarmed to the football all day. It was, you know, we had a 3rd and off track, and the way that we played was very different. You know, I think it was like a 6-yard gain, where last week that was like an 11-yard gain. And I think just confidence and now seeing it again for a different look or a different time. And I think they're, you know, the more we see week in, week out, the more comfortable the guys are getting with every look and playing within the scheme and just really working together. And, you know, the thing that, you know, I liked the most about it was we had a couple different looks, and you could see the communication from all 11 hats on the field. Like, every guy's communicating, every guy's talking, they're working together. And that's where, like last week, we came out, we had a situation where, you know, we're kind of playing one coverage here, one coverage there, one blitz here, and you know, now every single guy's communicating, every guy's working at it, and we're continuing to make an emphasis on that in practice, and I think the guys are working better together every single day, and it's different groups on the field. It might be different safeties with different linebackers, or, you know, we have a bunch of guys that, like, we kind of consider as starters at corner that have been working in and out and doing a really good job for us, and I think they're just getting more comfortable working together each week.
What did you like about Ethan O'Connor in particular? It seems like he's playing more and more every week.
Yeah, he's a guy, you know, I thought he had a really good week against Louisville. I thought last week was his best week of practice, and he's been a guy all year. Like, those, you know, there's really been like 4 guys out there that have been every week. You know, you know, when we discuss it in the staff meetings, we look at them as 4 starters, and they're all going to play. They all do a really good job. You know, each guy has a little bit of different strengths and weaknesses, but he's a guy that last week was his most consistent week in practice, and I thought it showed up, and he played really well in the game.
How have you seen Keontae Scott kind of get better and better? He's putting up really good numbers in that nickelback role.
Yeah, I think that's a role in this defense that, you know, really everywhere I've kind of been, that's been a guy that's, you know, always had really good production. Just, I don't know if it's the way teams attack us or, you know, the style of player, but obviously he's a very talented football player. He can do a lot of things really well. And, you know, I think the ball he continues to find the football as he plays, and he's been very productive, and he makes the available play when he's in those situations. And he, you know, he's a very smart football player. You know, he's got really good awareness. He understands different splits and formations and where to fit, and you know, there's been little things he's continuing to play better with his hands, you know, setting edges and doing some of those things. But I think he's a very smart, instinctive football player that finds the football.
Teams are being very physical with Bane, like basically holding him. What is his response to it when he comes to the sideline, and what is your guys' message to him?
Yeah, I think he's been very positive. I think, you know, he knows going into a game what to expect, and you know, football's the ultimate team sport where if you focus on him, someone else is going to step up and make the play, and then when you adjust your, you know, focus on someone else, he's going to step up and make the play. And you know, I thought he's done a very good job of taking on some combos, taking on doubles. They've chipped, you know, they slid to him. You know, I still think, like last week, I thought he was very productive at forcing the quarterback off the spot. Did a really good job in the run game, setting edges and knocking the line of scrimmage back. And, you know, I still think he had a huge effect on the pocket last week, you know, forcing the quarterback to move around and get out. And, you know, maybe the stat line wasn't exactly there this week, but when you go through and you watch how he played, I mean, I thought he you know, did a very good job at the point of attack in the run game, and I thought he really affected the pocket in the pass game last week.
From a tempo standpoint, does SMU Are they similar to anyone that you guys have faced to this point?
Yeah, I think it's going to be similar to, Florida State, where I think they're going to go fast at times. I think there's going to be other times they may not go as fast. We're going to see a lot of different, or we're going to see a couple different personnel groupings, but we're going to see a lot of different pitchers. Where the tight end might be flexed out, the tight end might be in the core. They're going to do some different things with the backs, trying to get the ball to the backs out in space, sometimes in empty, or sometimes on the perimeter, sometimes out of the backfield. And, I think at times it's going to be very fast, and I think at times they may slow it down a little bit. Last week, I felt like, in that Wake Forest game, I thought they went slower in the second half. I thought in the first half they went a little bit faster. There's other games where you can see it looks like it's lightning fast. The chains are still getting set in the background. The officials are still setting the ball, and everyone's standing over the football ready to go. So I think we'll see different tempos as the game goes.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you guys.